called Consistently You because I went through a life experience from 2015 till 2019 that I wanted to be a counselor my whole life, a coach or a counselor field my whole life. But I learned I had to go through an experience to give me the experience to do it. We all have narcissistic traits. The disorder is totally different. Every single human has narcissistic traits, and we're going to be heightened at different times depending on what we're going through. For a coach, and I've dropped clients because of it. If they want to keep focusing on the other person, I'm like, I'm sorry, when you're ready to work on you and get to your learned behaviors, then call me back.
All right, everybody, welcome to the latest edition of Coach's Corner. I am in the studio with Shelly Lawhorn. She is a realtor, mom, a coach, and just an all-around fascinating person. So, I had to get her in here and ask all kinds of improper questions. I'm going to use broken English. I'm going to have fun. We're going to find out who she really is and why you should be associated with her. How you doing, Shelly?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for being here and having me back after our first live. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Kind of give us from where you're from, how you got here, all that good stuff.
Well, how I got here.
There was an act.
So I'm actually a local Arizona native, but grew up in California on the beach. So I bounced back from Arizona and California until 2019.
Okay.
And what else about me? I'm a mom.
Okay.
And a single mom.
All right.
Of 3 boys, 22, 18, and 6.
18 and 6.
18 and 6.
Wow. Okay.
Started all over.
So what's it like being in the real estate business and being a mom of 2 young boys? I'm sure that's a handful. How do you juggle
now I've
all
got
that stuff?
2 adults.
2 adults, yeah.
2 young men and a little. But I've been a realtor since 2006. At one point I was licensed in California and Arizona. So I love it. I've been doing it for a long time. My family's been involved in real estate, and it's given me the flexibility to be a mom.
I like that.
And it goes alongside with some other things I do in life.
You made a post the other day, which I thought was really cool, and you highlighted how well-behaved your sons are and how they're young gentlemen. How did you pull that off? Because there's this trope that people say that a woman can't raise a man. What do you say to that?
I'll say, well, we absolutely certainly can, because I'm a sole single mother to my 6-year-old. And I have to thank my older boys because they're amazing role models for Tegan, my little. But my older boys, I'm lucky enough their dad has instilled values as well to them. And how you treat women, how you act in life. And so, yeah, we have like old soul boys.
Got it. And you also, you're a coach. Tell everybody about that.
Yes. So I have a coaching business called Consistently You that goes over mindset, anything that you're doing in life, whether I work with clients, women, I try to. We'll get to that
We'll
later.
get to that, yes.
But it's called Consistently You because I went through a life experience from 2015 till 2019 that I wanted to be a counselor my whole life, a coach or a counselor field my whole life. But I learned I had to go through an experience to give me the experience to do it. So when I was going through my experience, my counselors and stuff kept focusing on one certain topic. And I'm like, no. I'm going to be in here and I'm paying you. We're going through my timeline to figure out why I allowed, excuse my language, this shit in my life. And my counselor looked at me and she's like, you need to be a counselor. So then I came up with Consistently You because it's all about us. People tend to want to focus on the other person or the other things in their life when really you need to look at yourself, your inner self.
Fascinating. So
yeah, I do some trauma. Dating has been the biggest topic. I've done business coaching. I don't like calling it life coaching. But really, truly dialing in on yourself, unlearning and learning behaviors to give you the best life that you can have.
I love it. All right, so I'm going to get into dating in a little bit.
Perfect.
I want to talk a little bit about people always want to know, what's your opinion of the market right now, real estate?
You know, my father had a huge portfolio of real estate. Obviously, you make your money on the buy. If you're doing it investment-wise, you buy and you sit. You're always going to make money on real estate.
Mm-hmm. So you think what you're saying is real estate is a long-term play, it's not a short-term play?
It could be a short-term play because
investing.
I've flipped houses myself and made good money. I think the media has put shock into people, and everybody's panicking or wait for the interest rates to go down.
They ain't going down.
Right.
Not anytime soon. But, there's talk. There may be a shift, 1 or 2 rate cuts. But that's to the Fed fund rate. You know what I mean? So, which does have a correlation to the mortgage rates. But if you can afford to buy, because guess what the houses are doing?
They're going to keep going up.
They're getting more expensive, yeah.
And it's really crazy. Like, we have the term date the rate.
I hate that shit. And I probably said it too. I think everybody likes go out and say date the rate and marry the mortgage and whatever. It's like,
I tell all of my clients, I'm like, what are you waiting for? If you want the house, get the house. Are you going to wait for everyone to jump and then now we're doing multiple offers and all of that?
See, the thing is, people are thinking, well, wait for the perfect time, and then all those people who follow that same advice are going to jump in the pool. Mm-hmm. Now you don't have a vacation. You're like, it's like a shark attack.
And it's crazy because I have more investor clients right now. Like, I've got 2 properties in Esco right now, and one of them is out in Whitman, and people are like, you're never going to get that price for it. I got full list for it.
Awesome.
And then I have another client who is an amazing woman and just bought half of a building. She bought 3 units.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
This is commercial?
Single mom, no, residential.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for her.
For straight investment. And I'm like, go you. Like, inspiring to me. I'm like, I want to go buy a building.
Yeah. So I've had several female realtors on the show, and I want to talk about this because how do you deal with this? And I hate some of these terms, but this is what the terms you use. Let's say a man who thinks you don't know how to sell that house. How do you deal with that energy?
That's a great question.
Because I've heard some realtors say that female realtors, like, a lot of times if they're attractive, sometimes there's this uncomfortableness with the wife and husband dynamic. We're going to look at these houses together. You're not going to be alone with her or him,
So I actually just had a situation where I lost a client and had to let go of a client because I had some accusations to where the partner came at me and I'm like, I'm just showing you guys property.
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid that he wants to be with you. Oh, it was crazy. Yeah, so
that's really a thing still.
I've actually had it happen twice, and we had to refer one, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? It's not anything I'm doing wrong. I'm professional. I can be wild and crazy, but when I'm doing business, it's business. I'm here to get you the best deal.
Do you post that wild and crazy on your social media?
Absolutely.
That's what the wife is watching. She's like, oh, hell no. We gonna go get Bertram, the old chick that's about to retire at the broker.
No, but when I meet clients, like, I'm very professional. Like, I'm a woman's woman. Like, I don't think I give that vibe off, but I don't know.
While you're talking, she's got your TikTok pulled up. Oh, there's Shelly on the bar and doing tequila shots. Yeah, you're not showing this house. Her husband's like, yeah, she's showing the house. We're going to buy it. I don't care how big the price is,
No, but I've been a realtor since 2006, and just within the last year and a half, I've had it come up twice.
Yeah.
And it really goes down to insecurity of the other person, and who knows what happened between them. So I'm just like, okay. Or I do something to reassure, like,
Yeah.
sometimes I even wear a wedding ring.
When I sold insurance, my old boss, he's an old white guy from New York. He was like, Clarence, go out and get you a little cheap silver wedding ring.
Yeah.
Trust me, your sales will go up.
But then nowadays, people see that as a challenge. They're like,
right. Like,
can
that
I
don't
get you to
scare me. You
break
show a
that?
wedding ring, she's like, oh, I'm going to get him and
Yeah.
screw his wife, right? That, yeah, saying you're in a relationship or saying you're with somebody means nothing. That's like, okay.
But if I get that vibe, sometimes I'll ask them because I do have a little. I'm like, do you mind if my son comes with me? I know my baby's
That scares some guys out there. Oh,
yeah.
shit. Yeah.
They're like, oh no, she's got a little.
Yeah,
like,
it's like Ray. Like, get
he's
out
my
of here.
ring.
Yeah, like, yeah, I'm out. Yeah, she got a little kid. Never mind. You can show her the houses.
But I've also had it where
Uh-oh, that's me. My bad. That's bad podcast hosting. My phone's ringing. That's all right.
Hey,
Go ahead.
we're in real estate, Wade.
Yeah. Well, right.
We're
I got a deal that I'm
24/7.
trying to figure out, and it's a nightmare, but I'm not even going to worry about it right now.
But I've actually had men reach out to me pretending they want to buy or sell a house. And then they ask me out on a date, and I'm like, you're wasting my time.
We just talked about that
Yeah.
here. That goes both ways. You know, oh, yeah, I need you to help me with this and that. And then it's like, I want you to help me with something else. And it ain't really about that. Because they think you're going to be like, you're going to find them really super awesome all of a sudden, and they just wasted your time,
Right.
which is a complete turnoff.
So I have like questions that I ask to make sure.
What are those questions? Okay, I'm going to pretend I'm a client. Hi,
Well, first
Shelly,
I'm gonna ask you if-
I got your name from Clarence. I want to buy a house.
You know, and the ones that always happen with me, they're like, oh yeah, my house is like $1 million. And I'm like, okay, send me proof of funds or send me documentation. Let me look at it first. Or if they're wanting to buy, I'm like, I need a pre-qual. I need XYZ. Now my phone's going off.
That's all right. You can't even hear that. We'll edit all that out.
So yeah, just kind of feeling the vibe off of them. And then if I'm thinking it's a little bit real, but there could be, I'll be like, okay, my partner's gonna take you to look at them, to show them.
They say something like shady, like, can I see a picture of your partner? You're like, all right, this dude ain't serious. I like that. So here's the next question, because I took notes. Remember I was telling you that people had questions they wanted me to ask you. And this is from our live, which, by the way, is on Shelly's page. If you're not following her, you should be. What's your Facebook so they can see that?
Shelly Lawhorn.
All right, so you made some comments about going a little crazy. What does that mean to you in your mind as a woman when you say I went a little crazy? What does that mean?
Well, crazy is a term now that's getting used for everything. You know,
Or crash out. Yeah,
you-
that's another one.
Are you talking about like in dating crazy or?
Well, you said I went a little crazy, so I don't know. That was the question someone told me to ask you. What does that mean to you? Because if I say she went crazy, she scratched
Crazy.
my car. She, burned my clothes.
Oh yeah, that is crazy.
See, what's the level of crazy for you?
For me, sometimes my mouth will start going. Like, if I find out a person has lied to me, well, it depends. Crazy is different to every person. So my crazy is I will hold you accountable, or I will walk away and you will not hear 2 words from me. That's friendships or relationships.
Wow.
Like, if you did me wrong, my first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to try to have a conversation with you. Because if I care about you. If I don't, I'm just going to be like,
Cut off.
done.
Straight
You
cut
crossed my boundary, I'm done. You'll realize later what you did. If you've lied to me or been interpersonal with me, engaged with like my family or your close person to me, so my crazy, I don't really have a crazy, but if I get pushed to a certain limit, I will unleash. I'll lose emotional intelligence and I'll tell you exactly what I think of you.
Gotcha.
And I'm a strong enough woman to own it. Like, we can't be on point all the time.
A term that's thrown around quite a bit now, at least the last 20 years, I'll just say. I see it on women's posts, men's posts, is narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think people go to Google, what's a narcissist? And they find that one thing that fits in, like, he told me a story wasn't true. He's a narcissist. You know, he likes to wear blue. He's a narcissist. What does that mean to you?
I honestly am so over the word narcissism. I literally, just within the last 2 days, have shut down my TikTok, have shut down my Instagram, and was contemplating shutting down Facebook because that's all I'm seeing. If you have not experienced a true narcissistic, personality disordered person, keep your mouth shut. Because I'm hearing it with clients that are calling me. They're a narcissist. Oh, they didn't act right. They're a narcissist. They're saying this. They're a narcissist. I will tell you, 100% I have experienced a narcissistic personality disordered person that got diagnosed right in front of me, which was very dangerous for the counselor to do because it put me in jeopardy.
Okay.
I can't stand the labels. And is what's happening now is with all of this going all over TikTok, social media platforms, everybody's talking about narcissism, is all we're doing is we're seeing it nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think's happening? We're getting brainwashed. By everything that we're seeing on social media, we're taking it in. So what are we attracting?
Well, you whatever you put out in the universe, you're going to attract. If you speak negativity, you're going to draw in negativity.
So if everyone keeps talking about narcissism and narcissists, they're already going into friendships, relationships. They're seeing one thing.
Well, you can condition yourself. It's like when you like a car, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you say, okay, I want the new Toyota. I'm just making up a name. Now, what do you see all the time?
A Toyota. Right.
Same thing. So if you say narcissist, or he has this trait, like I used to tell my girlfriends, like, hey, something that happened to you that's related to something that triggered something else. So let's say you thought he ignored you because this person may have ignored you. Does that automatically mean that this person is a bad person? Or are you just associating certain behavior and labeling it all the same thing?
Right. That's what people are doing.
Instead of diving in and go, okay, hey, I said something to you, you ignored me. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had my earpiece in. Didn't know I was ignoring you.
And assumptions. People are doing assumptions. People, literally, the top call that I am getting nonstop has to do with dating. What do you think about this situation? This person did this. They're not ready. But, and is all I'm hearing is nobody's wanting commitment. And I feel that that is because everybody is afraid of, one, getting hurt, two, seeing all of this stuff of what I call labels, toxic, drama, narcissism, all over social media. When if people would just have conversations and be honest and upfront from the beginning, why will you have problems?
Yeah.
So yes, I can't stand the word narcissist. And I don't think that if the person has not been diagnosed, be careful calling people narcissists because, there is a thing called defamation of character.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, but how would you fight that in court? Like, it's all subjective. He could act a certain way or she could act a certain way, and how do you know how does that legally bind somebody? Someone says, I can say you're crazy, but then I can go in court and be like, she's crazy, but I mean like crazy cool, or she's, crazy fun.
I know somebody going through it right now where it was put on social media and they're being able to use it in court because she's a big time person.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
God, can I do that? Who's the attorney? People say shit about me all the time.
People say stuff about me all the time. I mean, I've been called, like, I'm, again, strong enough. I've been called a narcissist. And one thing that everyone needs to know, if you can truly ask yourself if you're a narcissist, if you can self-reflect and be like, okay, wait a minute.
But here's the question. What's the definition? We have all these people who have relationships that are bringing their experience and saying it's this thing. None of them are qualified. None of them are doctors. Because if you can Google anything, what's a narcissist? And most people find that one thing
that sticks.
He twists this around. He makes it about him.
So with narcissism, they call it textbook for a reason. They say the same phrases.
Yeah,
it's scary.
I'm done. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I transferred it to her. I'm a narcissist.
You're not a narcissist. They do certain things, but there's different types. There's covert, malignant. I mean, I could sit and go on, but I don't want to focus
What's
on.
the most common you see right now?
Probably malignant.
Do you think you could be, and I'm doing air quotes, for those who can't, who you're watching, you see me do air quotes. Do you think you could be subconsciously doing narcissistic things and not really doing it on purpose?
Absolutely, because we all have narcissistic traits. The disorder is totally different. Every single human has narcissistic traits. And we're going to be heightened at different times depending on what we're going through.
Mm-hmm. Give me an example of subconscious narcissism. I step on your foot and you go, ow, that hurt. And I go, well, you should have moved your foot. Is that being a narcissist?
No.
I don't know why I brought that one up. Just things happen.
But yes, it's a huge topic, and everyone is doing the labeling, and it literally is making people not want to build friendships, relationships because of it. And it's an easy way out to say, oh, well, they're just a narcissist. And it's also an easy way to not take self-accountability, to put blame onto someone else.
So you're a coach. I'm a coach. One of the biggest things that we teach people to do is look at themselves, and good and bad. People struggle with that.
Yeah.
Because they get hurt by a situation, or maybe physically or mentally, and they don't self-reflect. Why did this happen to me? I dated this woman, I'm not going to say her name, but I was going through some shit. And I said to her, why is this happening? And that's when she said, ask yourself, why is it happening to you? And it was a really big mind shift for me. Because if you think of everything that's happening, granted, if you walk outside and get hit by a car, it's not your fault. You could say, well, maybe I shouldn't walk down the street, but that's unrealistic, right? I'm talking about things that constantly happen to you. Because I follow a lot of women and men, it's not just the women, and they're constantly changing their profile picture with the new guy or the new girl. And it's like, oh, he was this and he didn't appreciate me. I'm a real woman. And he just like, why is that always the same song? When do you come out and go, you know what, I'm fucked up?
So when somebody hires me for a coach, and I've dropped clients because of it, if they want to keep focusing on the other person, I'm like, I'm sorry, when you're ready to work on you and get to your learned behaviors, then call me back.
But that's like groundbreaking. Like, what do you mean work on me? I didn't do anything. It's his fault or her fault.
Right. If you can't take self-accountability,
that's that whole concept of accountability is huge.
Because we all play a role.
Do you think people want to be validated in their pain?
Yes.
So do you validate the pain, then go, okay, let's figure out why this is happening to you? I don't think and I get in trouble. I say this all the time. I think in almost 90% of situations, there's something you allowed that you either glossed over. Because in the beginning, you meet someone. They're cute, they're hot, and they go, oh, they just did that, and that's all right. Because you're in that moment, you're excited, it's a new person, and you're missing things. And if you walk back through everything, you go, oh, I remember when he yelled at me when I didn't shut the door quick enough. Or she got really upset that my phone rung in the middle of the night. You know, I run a business. It could be anybody. You know, it's forwarded to my phone. Whatever. I'm just making up stuff. And then you let those things go. And over time, and then something big happens, and then you focus on the big thing. And when I talk about accountability, it's like if you go back and walk through everything, you find, here's where you let that go. When he disrespected you, when he was out on a date saying he was with another woman, and whatever. You can find those little incidents where you let something go. Or he beat you the first time, and you're like, oh, he was mad, it was my fault, I shouldn't have yelled at him, whatever. Because you talk about people who've been abused, there's usually a pattern. It doesn't just happen.
Right.
There's usually history. So how would you address that?
So I think when you have... Okay, you have to go back and ask the question because you got me caught.
So my question is, people want to be validated for their pain, But how do you get them to dial back and go, how did you contribute to that? That's a very hard pill to swallow. What did you contribute? Because they're like, what do you mean? I didn't do that. Yeah. But I guarantee, it's like when I look at people's credit. It was the bank's fault. It was this. It was something else. And you go, but how did you miss the payment? You agreed to this payment. What happened? Well, we were partying and now you hear yourself saying it's your fault.
So I think where people go wrong is if there's something bothering you, you need to address it. So like, okay, let's say you and I are dating. Your phone keeps going off in the middle of the night.
And like in the middle of a conversation, right?
And I'm like, who's calling you? Or I sit and I don't say anything, but my head is sitting here going,
okay,
who's calling him? Who's calling him?
So let's play this because this is perfect. Anything. This is very common. Okay. Oh, it's one of my clients.
And then I go, okay, and I believe you. Mm-hmm. I let you believe that I believe you. But in my head, I'm sitting here going, oh, I know he's talking to someone. Now I'm going overthinking and I'm going down a rabbit hole, driving myself crazy. So then you keep, and I call it layering mattresses. If you don't address something that's bothering you, you're going to sit and stew and go down a rabbit hole, and then you're going to layer mattresses on top until finally you're going to have the explosion, and the other person is going to be like...
Okay, so let's say that same scenario, because this happened to me before, because I used to be a personal trainer. Before I was in a steady relationship, my thing was, you can call me anytime. Any issues you have, just reach out to me. Just call me. Sometimes you have drunk exes who are out partying, had a couple cocktails, and they go, ooh, I'm thinking about Shelly.
I'm going to see if she's going to respond
and
to
you're
me.
not responsible for that.
No.
Now, nowadays we have these iPhones. You know, I'm 50-something, right? You used to get pages. Now you get, like, Instagram, so-and-so liked your picture. So do you turn your phone off? Do you address it like that? A lot of times you just say, you know what, here, this is just this. Or so-and-so left me a message. Sometimes people will text you, because my thing says if it's not important, just text me. They may be up doing some, hey, I got that paperwork you need, or hey, I'm not going to be at the gym. I used to say that because I had clients at 4 in the morning. Mm-hmm. I'm like, if you ain't coming, I don't care what time it is, text me. And a lot of times it was an issue. And then I'd have to just say, look, what did she say? I'm not going to make it in the morning. Good, I can sleep in. But a lot of that, too, if you're dating someone that's an entrepreneur that's out there trying to get it, it's not normal. You're not dating a mailman who's off at 5. He's delivered his last mail. He's done till tomorrow at 9. You know, it's communication.
It's 100% communication. If you don't have trust, you don't have anything.
How do you build trust back after it's been broken?
It takes...
If you're working on it.
A lot. It's constant. That both people have to be like, okay, there's things that you're going to do that will probably trigger me. Although you're not responsible for my triggers, I have to work through that on my own.
That's a hell of a concept. I'm not responsible for what triggers you?
No.
Wow.
Unless you know, unless I have expressed to you, like, okay.
I'm sorry, I'm breathing this morning. How are you triggered by that? I put a shirt on, and you're triggered.
Yeah. Other people are not responsible for your triggers. You have to heal those within yourself. Unless you make a person... So, like, if you and I were dating, and I'm like, okay, this makes me feel XYZ, and you do that, knowing that it bothers me, you're knowing I'm going to
have a reaction
to it.
So what if you say, you know what? Whatever. You don't pick up after yourself in the bathroom. This is a common one for me. You know what? You're right. I'm going to work on that. And that's communication. But if you say, you don't pick up after yourself to piss me off, now what is my reaction?
You're going to come back.
No, I'm going to go, no. I'm not going to accept what's bothering you because you've made it something that it's not. Like if I'm just, maybe I'm just absent-minded, I don't pick up, I'm just a slob, whatever. I've been called a slob before. You're a slob. Okay, you didn't address the situation. You attacked me. Now I'm going to be like, yeah, whatever. That's how I am, whatever. Versus, hey, I really take time to clean the bathroom up, make sure it looks neat. I leave all my hundreds of stuff on the counter, my hair dryer, my curling iron, my tool kit to fix myself up in the morning. And you leave a toothbrush out. So instead of going, you're a slob, you're trying to piss me off, why don't you go, hey, do me a favor at night before you go to bed, if you would just grab your toothbrush or whatever, I like to keep it clean. Okay, cool. You know, we all have our little nuances. I like the light on, or I like the toilet roll this way, whatever. You know, those things you talk about. But it's not on purpose. You know?
Everybody is in my opinion, is in reactive states.
I would agree with that.
And a lot of it has to do with...
But what do you think the fix is? You think it's them blaming their partner, or is them going, okay, why am I reacting? I always say, if someone cuts me off in traffic, I have to ask myself, why does that bother you? Because people are going to do it every day. No matter how much I bitch about people cut me off or going really fast behind me, that's what people are going to do. It's never changed since I've ever had a driver's license. So why get mad? So I ask myself, why does that piss you off? That's the start. From a macho man thing, well, because he's disrespecting me. Okay, that's dumb. What, are you going to get in a fight with everybody on the highway? No, it's going to end in death or jail. That's stupid. So my new favorite thing is, namaste, maybe I'll show him the bird. Hey, have a good day.
Don't do that.
Be about your way.
Crazy.
Well, sometimes that can lead to other things, so you got to think about that. But I'm just saying, like, why is that bothering you? So you have to ask yourself, if something is pissing you off, why? What is that triggering you? When do you say, why is this bothering me? What am I going to do about it?
And here's another spin on that. Our last live video, do you remember when I said, not every day are people going to be 50-50? You could have a bad day at work. You could have a deal not closing. You could be on time crunches. Your partner and your friends, technically, have to pick up the slack.
Explain.
So, like, if you're having a bad day that has nothing to do with me,
okay,
and I have a choice. I'm either going to take the way you're acting personally, or I'm going to be like, he's had a really rough day. It has nothing to do with me. I know he's had a rough day. He's not going to barbecue the steaks tonight.
Yes, I am. I'm never going to not eat. So that's never going to be a challenge. I might not talk to you while I'm cooking, but...
So then I would pick up the difference.
Sure. So you might
Because, yeah.
Or you might go, why don't you go relax?
Right.
I got it.
And people can't see. It's really that easy. We're not perfect every day.
Sure.
So like,
I get that, because sometimes you say hi to somebody, you don't get you might get hey versus hi.
People can't
what's
stop.
wrong with her?
People can't stop today to think that something could be going on in somebody else's life that has nothing to do with them. But what happens? If I was like all closed off, granted we had a conversation in the parking lot before we came in here, and we both had crazy days, so we're both in duality right now.
Right.
And you said, hey, what's going on with you? You okay? Like, it's simple. People don't even ask people if they're okay anymore.
That's true.
We have so much stress going on.
We take it personal. I say hi to you, and you just don't say hi to me back. And I go,
like,
what's wrong with you? What did I do to you?
Or the infamous, you deleted me off of Facebook.
Oh, God.
So people can't stop to think that we have people that will be open books that'll talk about their life. We have people that'll close off and get quiet. Everyone all the time is, oh, it has to do with me. It has nothing to do with you. It's them. It's very easy. Ask a question. Okay, are you okay? Did I do something wrong? Oh my gosh. And is that hard? Did I do something that offended you? Did I do something that bothered you?
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah, but that's, for some folks, that's more difficult, because that requires them to own up to something.
Right.
That's the next level.
Self-accountability.
And trust me, I fail. I've won sometimes. Sometimes I'll hear somebody say something. And so my new thing, which they interpret as he's not acknowledging me. Sometimes I need to process this, what you're saying. Okay, let me move out of my emotions, because you're talking shit. Let me go, okay, she feels some kind of way, or he does. Why?
One of my biggest things, like in coaching and when I do discovery calls and stuff, I always find out from my clients, if it has to do with like dating or marriage, what their learned behaviors were from childhood. Because everything that we do and how we react or respond has to do with our timeline. And you put, again, this goes back into labels, and I think I touched briefly on it during our live, but you put two personalities or behaviors in a same room, and this can go everything in the world. But you could say I'm crazy because I'm confrontational, like I'm a woman.
So another word.
And you could be, let's sit down and have a conversation. And I'm like, heated.
Because you want a reaction to validate how you feel.
I don't even think it's not necessarily even about a reaction. It's some people, was my point, is have grown up with households that did the loud, reactive.
Yeah, or they came from a bunch of relationships where they screamed at each other.
So
if you're not screaming, oh, he's ignoring me, he's not paying attention.
So that will trigger them. Yeah. So you have to really step back and instead of labeling people saying you're crazy, you're drama or whatever, they're only acting in their normal. Right. So you're a calm person. I can't figure out why you're not listening to me. Like I'm showing you by being loud and reactive, like I'm not okay. You see what I mean? So you put those two different personalities together or behavior types together, you're going to be like, wow, she's crazy. Like she's going unhinged right now.
I think crazy is another word that gets thrown around a lot,
I can't stand it.
You know, if you don't understand a behavior, it's crazy.
How about just taking a step back and people have feelings and emotions? But now we want to put labels. Literally, this happened. I can't say with who because it's... Shit. I had a situation within my own house. We're going to be raw and real. Like,
okay, go for it.
A situation with my boys, and they kept saying and using the word drama. And it came from somebody in our family that was teaching them that. And I'm like, no. You expressing your feelings is not drama. You're expressing your feelings. So is what can start happening when you can't express feelings because you're worried or have been told, again, learned behavior, that it's drama, you're going to start suppressing your feelings and your emotions.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And people are in fear.
It bottles up after time, right. And then you get the explosion.
And then now that's where you have mental illness.
You have mental illness, you have people who do stupid stuff that we go, why would they do that?
Yeah, because they've been suppressing for so long.
How they feel, and someone finally hit a nerve, and then boom, they explode. All right, this is heavy stuff, man.
Yeah, let's get into some fun
What are you doing for the summer? Got a new bikini or anything? It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, so to take it not heavy, because it is heavy, but like you're in your 50s, I'm in my 40s. Dating is so different nowadays. I don't date.
You got ARP. Are you part of the club? Like,
yeah.
Do you have, are you part of the active adult? They call them active adults now. There's a common saying old people who still can move around.
Mm-hmm. But people at our age aren't wanting to date and commit, and we have pasts that some of us still hold on to in those behaviors, and it really just has to do with like, life's too short. Let's have fun. Be honest. Be communicative. Something's bothering you, tell me. If something I'm doing you don't like, tell me. Like, who has time for nonsense? That's where I'm at with it.
That's awesome. So, right now in this world we're in, me and you grew up in different eras, like decades ago. Dating was different. Dating was more innocent, I think. What advice your son comes home and goes, Mom, met this really cool girl. What advice do you give your son?
Well, oh my gosh, I have two that are like complete opposites of dating spectrums. I tell him to be honest and open. My boys treat their girlfriends like queens, and they've been ran over.
I love that, but when my son asked me that, this is what I told him. That's all great. That's like the romantic. That's the movie credits rolling. I was like, bro, take it from Pops. Wrap it up. Don't get anybody pregnant.
Oh.
That's what I'm asking you. Because,
okay, so
I mean, look at the world we live in. Girls are getting pregnant. Boys are doing stuff, not being responsible. And I am not sitting here acting like I am the worst. I have had those storks show up at the house.
So my boys, when I got pregnant with Tegan, were 15, and 10.
Okay.
So I had one in high school, and I was like, you make me a grandma, we're going to have big issues. I'm like, I will chop that pickle off. Back to the pickle.
The funny thing is, my mom gets embarrassed when I tell the story, but when I was 14, she gave me for my birthday a box of condoms. For some reason, I did not take that advice, which has haunted me forever. And I'm like, Mom, I should have just followed you. So I think as parents, we try to like project our wisdom, but we have to be real with our kids now. You know, we have to have an avenue where I have 2 daughters, you know, and a son. My son, I posted about him today. He's great. He did all the right stuff. He did everything I didn't do. He was like, get married, have 1 wife, and have babies, you know. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, hey, well, she's pretty. Come here, you know. I did the opposite. So he was able to benefit from looking at his dad going, you know, not that he, you know, he had his little run. I mean, I think you do when you're dating, you're young, you want to date everybody you can, but that's what I meant when I asked you, like, you got 2 boys in this world. If they become successful, there are certain women who are going to see them as an opportunity. Maybe you have some women that, however they're getting their information, may miss a good one because they think this one over here that society puts up, and then they're calling like, Mom, she's burning the house down. She's crazy. You go, oh shit, he said crazy. Oh, get the manual I mailed you out. Go to page 42.
So my boys have seen me date 3 people.
Okay.
They've learned from experience of what to and not to do.
Okay.
And I just tell them, I mean, I feel bad for them because they have social media. Your kids too. And I just...
It's a mess.
I would not want to be... Well, shoot, being an adult with social media and trying to date is insane. I literally would go off of social media for the correct person, for my future. Yeah. I would 100% like be like, I'm already doing it and I don't have a person.
Are so tied into it. You're right. If you have to really have what I was at a training a while ago, and a gentleman was like, you got to have a social media filter. You got to be able to figure out. No one puts their shit on. There are some people you're like, really, just get off social media. Like every day you walk outside, there's a black crowd and there's lightning striking you, and you got chased by a javelina. It's like, then you have the people who's like, wow, their life is amazing. And it's all a front.
It's a complete front.
Yeah, our marriage is so great.
And all of this,
I love us. Okay.
Like going back to my boys, you asking that question, because they're dealing with the same thing on social media. And like the girls, I mean, they're 18 and 22. And they'll show me pictures and I'm like, holy cow. And then they end up, they're like, wait a minute, why is this guy commenting on all of her stuff when and I'm like, oh, here we go. But now I got sidetracked.
I'll tell you a funny story in a second. Go ahead, you just made me think of something.
Social media, there's temptation at your fingertips.
Sure.
And everybody wants to do all of this positive, think positive, be positive, do positive. That's not reality.
So you're saying you should post like, look, today I took the barrel out of my mouth.
I say everybody should post whatever they want. It's your page. Do what you want to do how you want to do it. And if anybody else doesn't like it, scroll it or delete them. Well, if it doesn't make you feel good, delete it.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Post real, because social media is causing issues in people. Seeing, again, it goes back to what we started in the beginning. All the narcissists, all the labels, all this, all that. It's causing people to think their life is not good. And the people that do share real and raw, they get hate on. The people that are doing fake are going up.
You're going to get hate, you're going to get people who DM you, like I get a lot, and say, I really appreciate you posting that today. That hit me. You can always have haters. I mean, you could post the most wonderful thing. Today I saved an old woman from being hit by a truck. Oh, you wanted her to live because this. And it's like,
or you're posting that because
you want attention. Yeah.
People are always going to have something to say.
I was at a funeral recently at an uncle well, uncle-in-law, if you will, passed away, and I got an Instagram message and I opened it up. And one of my elder relatives was sitting next to me, and she's like, "Why are you looking at porn at the funeral?" And I said, "This is Instagram." She was like, "Why are they dressed?" She's older. She's like, "Why do they dress?" I'm like, "That's what they do. If the business is slow, you know this." Like, I see some of these women, like, because social media is a trick bag, like, especially for women. Dudes, you don't see that as much, right? Dudes may stand next to a rented car, a rented jet, like, look at me, this is my lifestyle, really. But you see girls, and they get addicted to that attention. Yeah. Because if you're a female and you post something revealing, or you got a big butt or big boobs or whatever, ding, 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 that like thing, and it's like a drug every day. Like, I've seen girls I thought were super modest and cool, and then I see them post one picture, and I watch the comments and the likes, and I'm like, and then that's their shit now.
Mm-hmm. And it's what's crazy is it's the same men doing it on every woman's. So
I have a universal policy. I like everybody's stuff. You ain't gonna peg me to one person. She's ugly, see? I loved her stuff, right?
I mean, people have said stuff to me because I, for a long time, would not post my kids on social media.
Yeah.
And so it was just me. And I have gotten away from the more branded type photos that I did before because I wanted to be raw and real and post with my kids. And during the election, I posted in a trash bag. I literally wore a garbage bag.
I was like, what's going on here?
And my kids were dying. Like, my boys watch my social media so closely, and they watch the comments. But yes, a woman knows, but guys are doing it too. They can post something, and then it's ding, 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 ding for the attention.
Exactly. The more dumb or crazy, the more attention. Like, on my poppy, like, you should talk about crazy stuff. You should gossip. You get more views. Like, bro, that's not me.
Yeah, I'm not on here to get views. I'm on here to make an impact.
Right. So I get it.
But, like, I've posted a picture in bathing suit, and women are like, "Oh, she's just doing that for attention." I'm like, why are you allowed to post one? And I'm promoting a swim line that I'm getting paid to post. Why are you hating on me, but yet you're doing it?
Yeah. Well, that's their insecurity coming out because they're not getting that attention. Maybe they don't look like you physically, and, I posted my Speedo, and I got banned for 3 weeks. So, that's why I don't do it anymore. Or I would have a Speedo on every day, a G-string, but it doesn't get the same impact that yours get. So, I don't do it. Anyway, all right, we're going to wrap up. We've been talking for well over 90 minutes.
Oh, wow.
We're going to figure out what we're going to call this episode. But I'll figure out something. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Shelly Lawhorn, she's amazing. Make sure you follow her. Next time we'll maybe dive into more of her coaching. Maybe we'll have her back to discuss something new and exciting going on in her life. And that's it for this week. And we'll catch you next time on Coach's Corner.